Congratulations, class 2025. We're out of here.
Good morning, everyone. Please remain standing. Audience, please remove your hats as American Legion Pelham Post 50 presents the colors of our nation and our state. Post, present the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please welcome Grace Kiami, who will be singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Grace. That was beautiful. Post, retire the colors. You may be seated. So good morning, everyone. I'm Sean Llewellyn, Interim Principal of Pell Memorial High School, and it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to our 112th annual commencement to honor the class of 2025. I would like to begin by thanking Mr. Andrew Van Bakov, Director of the PMHS Band, and to Grace Kiami for her beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you to the Pelham Board of Education, our Superintendent, Dr. Champ, and our administrators and teachers for helping make this event possible and for joining us here today. Thank you to Mr. Condon, our Director of Facilities, Mr. Sutton, our Head Custodian, and the entire facilities team for making all of this happen this morning. Thank you to the PMHS PTA, including co-presidents Ms. Parker and Mr. Sperano for their support for this event and for these lovely flowers. And thank you to our PTA volunteers for helping coordinate our very smooth entry this morning. Thank you to our senior advisors, Ms. Fallon and Mr. Van Bakov, for all of their tireless support for the senior class throughout this entire year. Extraordinary thanks is due to every teacher, administrator, and staff member of the Pelham Public Schools, all of whom played an important role in getting each of our seniors successfully onto this stage today. Parents, families, and loved ones, today we celebrate you as well. The class of 2025 would not have reached this moment without your love, support, and guidance, so please give yourselves a round of applause. Joining us today are many friends and family members who are themselves graduates of Pelham Memorial High School. We're so happy you are here to continue this tradition. Will all former PMH students please stand and be acknowledged? Thank you. Class of 2025, your intellectual achievements and commitment to service have inspired our entire school community. Your athletic prowess has been incredible, and your artistic and musical achievements have lifted our hearts. You have truly embodied our motto, excellence, inspired by tradition, empowered through community. Seated here with the class of 2025, we have 4 National Merit Scholarship finalists and 12 commended students. 2 of our students were named top 300 scholars in the Regeneron Science Talent Search. 12 of these students won awards at the Westchester Science and Engineering Fair, and 1 made it to the International Science and Engineering Fair. We have a NISMA All-State student as well as a number of award-winning debaters and actors. We have 2 state champions in EMT from the Skills USA Leadership Conference who went on to compete at nationals. We have 37 All-League, 7 All-Section, 2 All-County, an All-State, a Diamond 9, an All-Conference, a New York State Scholar athlete, a Court of Excellence, an All-Tournament, and 2 Con Edison Award winners. And at least 18 members of this class will be competing in sports at the college level. This year, 77 of our students demonstrated proficiency in civic knowledge, skills, and experiences, signifying their readiness to be active and engaged citizens, and earned the New York State Seal of Civic Readiness. Will these civic-minded students please stand and be acknowledged? Thank you. One of our students is one of only 300 students in the country to be awarded a Space Force Air Force ROTC scholarship. Matthew Johnson, please stand to be acknowledged. Thank you. This year has been a unique pleasure for me, as I was the middle school assistant principal for nearly all of the students up here today, and I remember them well in their 6th grade incarnations. It has been incredibly rewarding seeing the extent to which they have grown into the impressive adults you see here today. For those who don't have the pleasure of going to work each day at PMHS, The best way to describe it is as a dizzying whirlwind of activity that quite literally does not stop from September to June. Given that this was my first year as principal, what I'm left with is less a coherent whole, more than a series of blurry highlights. Some of these include, all the way back in September, watching Pelham varsity football's 21-20 win over Dobbs Ferry at Memorial Field. We could clap. You may not want to applaud for all of these, but that one certainly deserves it. Eating Greek food in the rain as the science research wagathon at various dogs looked at me hungrily. The ear-splitting cacophony of the PMHS band as they marched through our century-old hallways and the horns echoed off the walls. The incredible grilling skills of our teachers at the homecoming and senior class barbecues. The impressive effort our seniors put into decorating our classrooms and themselves for the senior haunted house. The inordinate amount of crawling involved in navigating it, and how quickly the seniors cleaned it all up afterwards. Getting nauseous from eating way too many cultures worth of food at once at the World Language International Night. Watching our students as they struggled and struggled and struggled, and finally emerged victorious as they tried desperately to light the candles at our various Honor Society inductions. The Mellow Fellows, along with members of our jazz band, spontaneously, had to get them in somewhere, jamming out on Herbie Hancock's Cantaloupe Island in our middle school gym. Our humanities research and civics students presenting on topics they feel really passionately about, and our science research students presenting work that I can barely even comprehend. The controlled insanity that is the Charlie Wilson Olympics, and the second win in a row for this class, go Sovereign Seniors. And of course, digging up murder victims in the rain in the Glover Field parking lot with Ms. Gruber's forensic science class. All of this in addition to the talent and hard work demonstrated at our concerts, our games, our plays, the senior talent show, the Battle of the Bands, and even, dare I say, occasionally in the classroom. You have certainly given me some great memories, and I hope these and others will be lasting memories for you. You have had an amazing year, and on behalf of the faculty and staff of Pelham Memorial High School, let me say that we are all incredibly proud of you and wish you continued success as you enter the next phase of your adventure. Congratulations, class of 2025. I would now like to introduce the class president of the class of 2025, Joseph Martucci, who will be reading his speech. Pass the applause.
So firstly, thank you to our parents, our faculty, everyone who just got thanked, and everyone else who helped get us to this point. There's not a single kid up here who could be graduating without the help of all of you. Since probably around 7th grade, I've really wanted to give a speech at graduation. It's possible that dreaming about this precise moment is at least part of the reason I started down the road of student government, so that I might have a chance to be standing here. So when I got the confirmation I would in fact be speaking today, I'll admit, it was a thrill. The most important thing I felt though was validated. Validation. That rush we get when we feel we are enough. High school teaches us a lot of things. How to write essays, do copious amounts of research, calculate just how many questions you can get wrong on the test and still pass. But one of the main things it teaches us is the power of validation. Get the good grade, ace the research project, snag the summer internship, earn that dream college acceptance. But right now, I think it's important to address what really propelled us to this finish line. We chase grades because they tell us we're smart. We chase likes on Instagram or streaks on Snapchat because they tell us we're popular. We chase trophies, titles, leadership positions, and college acceptances, not because it's always what we want or love, but because it tells us we're enough. For a long time, I equated applause and attention to being validated. As our parents have warned us, thanks in part to social media, we've all become so focused on our outward presentation to creating that perfect post for Instagram. But in our obsession with being seen, we often forget to ask ourselves who we are when nobody's watching. And now at the end of 4 years together, and really for most of us it's been far longer than just 4 years, I finally realized that validation is not the same as value. The number of your GPA does not equal how much you are worth. The amount of people who knew your name in these hallways or liked your Instagram is not how much you are worth. The quantity of awards you have on your bedroom wall does not assign your value in this world. There's no real yardstick to measure value, because who you are, and who we all are, is invaluable and unique. Value comes from what you are genuinely curious about, the risks you take, the laughs you share, and the moments where you choose kindness over recognition. I probably can't tell you the highest score I got on a test here, or however many points I scored on the field, but I do know that none of those things ever brought me nearly as much joy as hanging out with my friends in a class or laughing with my teammates on a bus ride. As we move forward, I hope that all of us will strive to build lives that are not just impressive on the outside, but truly fulfilling on the inside. Given the many challenges our generation will face, doing something because it is right and not because it will bring recognition will be imperative. Knowing your own worth without outside validation coming from others is also what will carry you through hard times, when you are doubted, denied, or challenged on who you are and what you believe. What do you do when something unfair happens? What do you do when injustice happens to you? When you can stand strong on not just what you believe, but how much you believe in yourself, and you can hold your head up when others try to knock you down. That's the ultimate sign of value, because it comes from valuing yourself. Now, discovering your value is not going to happen in a single moment, but it's going to be built over time. Lucky for all of us up here, high school provided a very adequate battleground where many quiet battles were fought by all of you. Value was found in those times when you didn't get picked, or you didn't win, you didn't get the recognition you were hoping for, but you still showed up. So now, all these years later, I think I finally learned that success isn't how loud the applause is, but how comfortable we are and how much we love ourselves when the room is silent. Don't get me wrong though, the winning goal or the round of applause and the respect from our teachers is pretty great. So is standing up here today. But I'm glad that, thanks to everyone I've already thanked, and those I've likely forgotten to thank, and those who I'll chase down later to offer my gratitude, I understand so much more about what it really means to be standing up here today. So congratulations to everybody sitting up here, our fellow speakers, Chris, Jeremy, and Kira, and to the class of 2025, here's to the path ahead and the journeys we haven't even considered yet. May the view from our future destinations be as incredible as the one from right here. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to introduce the President of the Pelham Board of Education, Ms. Jackie DeAngelis.
Good morning. As President of the Board of Education, it's an honor to say a few words to the Pelham Memorial High School class of 2025. Graduation is a huge accomplishment, not just for you, but for your families too. Think about the people who nudged you into the world and sent you to school. They made sure you got to class, practice, and rehearsal. They showed up at your performances and games. They reminded you countlessly, and I'm sure at times annoyingly, of all the things you needed to do. Your teachers, coaches, and mentors have helped you get here too. We thank them all. As a parent, I know how many small moments and daily efforts add up to a milestone like this. Through it all, you've grown. You've become someone who thinks critically, makes strong choices, and holds a vision for the world and the role that you want to play in it. People often say graduation is both an ending and a beginning, and it's true. Today marks a turning point where you take the reins, not just of your own future, but of the future of the world you're stepping into. The philosopher Hannah Arendt, who lived through a very difficult time in our history, wrote, "Education is the point at which we decide whether we love the world enough to assume responsibility for it." In other words, education isn't just about what you know, it's about who you choose to be in the world. It's about stepping up because you care about what happens next. Whether they realize it or not, your parents took a leap of faith in the future when they sent you to school. And now with your education, that responsibility for the world begins to pass to you. So here's my advice. Choose to care, stay curious, take on challenges, even the ones that scare you. Make mistakes and learn from them, and don't stress if you don't have it all figured out. I can assure you, most of us don't. But what matters is that you keep growing and keep showing up. You have what it takes to shape not only your own life, but the lives and the world around you. You are a very powerful force. On behalf of the Board of Education, congratulations, class of 2025. We are proud of you, we believe in you, and we are cheering you on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. DeAngelis. I would now like to introduce Jeremy Tam, who will be reading his speech, "Your Footprints Matter, Make the Path Yours." Jeremy?
Good morning, everyone. Friends, family, faculty, staff, and my fellow classmates, it is surreal to be standing here speaking to you all today. Let me begin by saying, congratulations to the class of 2025. Now, I have a confession to make. Something personal I need to get off my chest, and it isn't exactly flattering either, so I hope you won't look at me any differently. Dramatic, right? Well, do you want to hear it? All right, you asked for it. Here goes. I am not the first TAM to give a graduation speech on this stage. You asked for it. In fact, I'm not the first TAM to perform in sock and buskin, to compete in speech and debate, or even the first TAM to cry through Calc BC. Just ask Mr. Stellabot. And yes, I'm not even the first ham heading to Northwestern for college. Crazy, right? But true. You see, my brother Oliver graduated from PMHS 3 years ago, and boy, did he set the bar high. He spoke at his commencement. He earned a perfect ACT score. He booked the lead roles in all of his shows, was a Roger Rees Awards finalist, a state champion in forensic speech and debate, and yet still found time to run our town newspaper. A lot, I know. So if I'm being honest, it hasn't always been easy being Oliver's little brother. You know, if I had a penny for every time I've been mistaken for him, well, I guess I wouldn't have much since they don't mint pennies anymore, but hypothetically, I'd be rolling in it. You know, for much of the past 4 years, I followed his well-trodden path. The same classes, many of the same clubs and passions, and yet, despite walking in his footsteps, I couldn't replicate all the same successes. And for a time, I thought that meant I was falling short, not just of him, but of what others expected of the other Tam. Now, I bet many of you can relate, this feeling of not measuring up to a sibling, a friend, or maybe even a classmate like Charlie Johnson. But over time, I've come to realize that success isn't about comparison or keeping up with the achievements of others. It's about focusing on your own journey in being authentic and true to yourself. While I didn't book all the lead roles or win the forensic state championship, I can say that my high school journey has been uniquely my own, shaped by the collective experiences with our class, like the unforgettable Jackpot Juniors win over the seniors, or, yeah, come on. or the teachers who encouraged us to be the best versions of ourselves. To Mr. Beck, thank you for giving me the stage to grow as a performer and trusting me as your stage manager. Yeah. Even when that meant dealing with flu epidemics, lice outbreaks, and the occasional middle school tantrum. To Mr. Beltakis, thank you for helping me overcome my fear of public speaking. I hope you can forgive me for dropping science research this year. And to Mr. Schleifer, even though you never missed the chance to call me a pessimist, thank you for making me believe I had something worth saying. PMHS will miss you next year. We are an accomplished class, not unlike the ones who came before us or those who will come after us. Sitting here with us today, we have WESF winners, Regeneron scholars, National Merit Commended students and finalists, all-state musicians, collegiate-level athletes, award-winning debaters, and stand-out performers. With such impressive peers and accomplished alumni year after year, it's likely we have all walked in someone else's footsteps, whether we know it or not. But that doesn't diminish our accomplishments. It just highlights the incredible talent and traditions we are all a part of within the walls of PMHS. So yes, I am not the first TAM to stand up here, and unless there's a sibling I don't know about, I'll be the last. But I've spent the past 4 years walking in my brother's footsteps, and maybe some of you have too. Not in Oliver's, of course, but in your own siblings, a parent's, or even just someone's idea of who you should be. But here's what I've learned. It's not about who walked the path before you. It's about how you make it your own. So whether you're running off to college, jumping right into the workplace, or charting a completely different course, remember that the footprints you leave behind are yours alone. Before I finish today, I just want to thank my parents for their never-ending support and my best friend in the entire world, my brother Oliver, who had no idea I was speaking about him today. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2025. I can't wait to see where all of your paths lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Kristen Whalen, President of the Pelham Council of the PTAs, who will be presenting the 2025 WW Fairclough Scholarship.
Oh, wow. Good morning, Pelicans. Good morning, graduates. This is awesome. Good morning to the esteemed faculty, BOE members, teachers, administrators. Thank you all for making this day absolutely amazing. I'm Kristen Whalen. I am the current president of the Pelham Council of PTAs. I'm here to present the 2025 WW Fairclough Scholarship. The Fairclough Scholarship was established in memory of W.W. Fairclough, principal of Pelham Memorial High School from 1923 through 1945, and the superintendent of schools from 1945 to 1955. Each year it is given by the Pelham Council of PTAs to the top 3 academic achievers from the graduating class. Give me just 1 second to get organized. In 3rd place, we have Grace Kiami. Okay, in 2nd place, we have Madeline Horner. And our first place, Charles Johnson. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mrs. Whalen. I would now like to introduce Christopher O'Mara, who will be reading his speech, Questions and Cliches.
Thank you. If any of you parents out there have older children, or if anyone else in the audience has ever needed to attend another high school graduation before, you understand the senior graduation speech. The cute introduction filled with cliches, the references to inside jokes about the high school, and the mention of a personal anecdote from elementary or middle school. It's cute. It's safe. Celebratory, even. But perhaps the one thing it's not is honest. To be honest, to be the one to acknowledge the anxious elephant in the room during a celebration marked with these fancy gowns and cool caps with tassels isn't really fun. But beneath the celebration, many of us feel the same thing about the coming years. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. One thing these emotions have in common is that they usually take the form of questions about the future, each other, and our lives. These questions can be harmful, but by the same token, can be immensely beneficial. I boiled the beneficial questions we all must ask ourselves down to the 3 worth talking about. The first important question we all must answer: what is important to you? In a time of so much change, there are certain things we'll keep with us, and certain things we'll let go of. With life seemingly moving at light speed, our most fundamental sources of happiness may be left behind if we don't grasp them and take them with us. The second is something your mom may have asked you when she thought you were sad and there was something on your mind. What are you thinking about? There have been many ages in our civilization, from the Bronze Age to the Jazz Age, and I'd argue that the current one is the age of distraction. From our devices to our interactions with others, every moment we are awake has been packed to the brim with stimulation, leaving little moments for solitude. One downside of this is that it can make us lose sight of the things that we should really devote our thoughts and attention to: our values, our aspirations, and our future. My last question is something I think we will all have to ask ourselves now or in the coming years. What are you searching for? A hard question to answer at first. Some might instinctively reply, nothing, and that's the problem. Contrary to what some of our teachers have said at PMHS over the years during class discussions, there are wrong answers to some questions. And that's one of them. The reason it's wrong is very simple. Every day, we are all searching for something. Sometimes it's immediate needs. Think food, water, or a bathroom break. Sometimes it's deeper, a search for validation, belonging, or meaning. The reason this last question is so important is because if we get too lost in the short searches, we'll be blind to the beauty of things that take years to develop: relationships, connection, and meaningful long-term pursuits. As much as I criticize the average graduation speech in my introduction, I've allowed one cliche in this speech. So here it is. You are all explorers of your own lives. At PMHS, that meant national competitions for music, science research, forensic speech, and athletics. For college, it means Pelham graduates traveling all across the country and the world to explore new ideas, culture, and people. While we all might be nervous about our future explorations, there is something so quintessentially human about the search itself. In fact, it's that desire to plant our own flag into the abyss of the unknown, which is what makes something like social media so addicting. It's the hope that the next video, song, or piece of entertainment will finally be the thing that will satiate our hunger, once and for all. But it won't. We all have an appetite to explore the unknown that can never be satisfied, not by social media, or college, or anything else. In one sense, that's a good thing. It's what will motivate us long beyond our graduation to find the solutions to the world's biggest problems. However, if we only keep our eyes open for whatever is coming next, we are blinded to what we've already found. If someone asked me to succinctly explain the meaning of life, I'd say this: family, friends, education, and achievement. Even though you'll probably forget my speech, like the tens of thousands of others given across the country at ceremonies just like this, I hope you don't forget what got us all here to this moment today. I hope you can use my questions to solidify what is important to you and to pursue that goal, whatever it may be, ceaselessly for the rest of your lives. But before we all take the big leap into the unknown, I'd implore all of us to savor this moment one last time. As Ferris Bueller said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Okay, maybe I gave myself 2 cliches in this speech. Thank you all, and congratulations to the PMHS class of 2025.
Thank you, Chris. I would now like to introduce Student Association President Kira Findikian, who will be reading her speech, Push Past Your Plans Beyond the Group Me. Kira?
Does anyone here have a helium tank we could use? Please Venmo me $30 or you can't get on the bus. Reminder, wear pajamas tomorrow. Happy holidays. Olympic prep rests for no one. Fill out the form, see attached. Reminder, picture in high school gym 3 p.m. Decoration set up in high school gym 7 p.m. See you there, yay. Yay, 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 yay. These are just a few of the GroupMe messages I've texted this year to every senior here today. You know me as something of a planner. It's who I am, and I've been that person, unapologetically. But if I had to give myself a piece of advice, it'd be to let go of planning every second of every day, because the very best things are most often the ones not planned. There's a riff on a saying I love: man plans and the universe laughs. I really believe that life has a way of pointing us in the right direction, even if we spin around, do a couple backflips, and then zigzag in the opposite direction. In high school, the days can feel really similar. We spend so much time making schedules, locking in hour after hour on assignments, and checking off days to reach a goal, whatever it might be, that we start to miss the point. In fact, we've been planning for and counting down to this moment for the past 2 months. More like 4 years, if we're being honest. But I didn't expect half of what happened in these past 4 years, and I certainly couldn't have planned for it, good and bad. That one college you thought was going to be everything and you planned your whole life around? Dear Kira, we regret to inform you. That soccer spot that you thought you were going to get, nice try, stick to the bench. The part you thought you were going to get in the musical? Ensemble works too. But then funny things happen. When doors close, others really can and do open in the most unexpected ways. You lose a promised internship, and then a year later, you might be presenting research to a scientist from India. Walt Disney planned a career in journalism and was fired from the Kansas City Star because they said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Vera Wang planned a career in figure skating before becoming an international fashion powerhouse. Steve Jobs, he never planned to be fired from the company he founded, only to return 12 years later, making Apple into, well, Apple. And think about some of the best times in high school, and senior year especially. They were unplanned. They've been about that last-minute, late-night trip to Carvel, or cranking up music in a carpool with random people you'd not typically speak to, but end up laughing with and loving on the way home from practice. Or the time my friend Anderson Brady took a chance and performed lip service at Olympics, and the crowd went wild for the greatest kick split they'd ever seen. If there's anything I've learned from this place, it's that you have to push yourself past your plans. For many of us, we're soon leaving behind what we have here in Pelham, in this amazing community of parents, teachers, staff, and administrators who have loved and supported us. We'll be moving on from what we have built here and know, the roots of our community, like the roots of the tree in Sabine's yard, and the amazing community that Jamie has talked about building with this amazing class, all which we'll take with us into our next chapter. And thankfully, neither Julia nor I will be bugging you about turning in a permission slip or signing up for your Olympics roster. But moving forward means moving on and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't plan every second of your life. Be spontaneous. Because even though it might feel scary, the rewards can be even greater than you ever expected. As we embark on these next 4 years, I challenge you to say yes to the unplanned. Take risks, jump in. Join a random pickleball club even if you haven't touched a racket in your life. Learn chess or to play the piano. Apply for a job that you might not be qualified for. Take a class because there's something about it that you can't place, but you're psyched to try it out. It's not time wasted if you've learned a new skill, met someone new, or had an experience that made you think differently. If you've ever seen me on the unified basketball court, you'd know it's okay to be horrible at something if you only care enough. If you work hard and you show people that you care, you will get far in life. Go be your own bench captain and cheer yourself on through something new and difficult. I know you and this incredible class of students and friends are going places, and I can't wait to see what comes next for all of us. Thank you all, thank you Jules, and congrats to the class of 2025.
Thank you, Kira. I would now like to introduce Liam Ginsberg, who will be reading his speech, Raise Your Hand.
Good morning. I'd like to begin today by thanking my parents. Mom and Dad, thanks for buying the house right across from the school. Because of my parents, I've had a perfect attendance record since freshman year. More or less. I want us all to try an experiment today. Could every person here please raise their hand? Now, raise your hand even higher. Ask yourself this. You can put it down. Ask yourself this. Why didn't you raise your hand that high the first time? Maybe you're tired from a late night. Maybe your arm is sore from a workout. Maybe it's my fault because I didn't encourage you or I didn't give clear directions. Or maybe today just isn't your day and you can't give your best effort. Failure is not a word that's often used to describe this class. After all, we have been wildly successful. We have students who have achieved the highest levels of academic excellence in science, in math, in language, in history, in English. Or we have top-notch athletes, many of whom will be continuing their careers next year in college. We've won Olympics twice. Twice. 2 times. Repeat. A repeat. We have extraordinary visual artists and performing artists, musicians and writers. We even have the Mellow Fellows. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's pretty crazy how accomplished we are. But those very same people, the ones who have reached such great heights, they've also failed. We all have. Failed a test, airballed the shot, played the wrong notes, failed to be there for a friend. We've had days where we didn't show up at our best, days where we gave our all and fell short. My mom doesn't even know this, but I failed integrated algebra in 10th grade. That will be a fun conversation after this ceremony. Oh God, I'm scared. Point is, we've all failed at something. And all of you sitting in the audience, well, I bet you failed too. High school is a roller coaster of emotions. It certainly has been for me. Ups and downs, twists and turns, all can happen in a single class, a single day, a semester, a year. The question always is, how can you take the highs with the lows? How can you learn to lose a battle one day and have the willpower to win one the next? The reality is that not every day can be a good one, but with each fall comes an opportunity to rise. So how do we do it? How do we learn from our failures, the times when we can barely get our hand up in the air, let alone reach for new heights? I've found personally that there are two things to learn from failure. The first thing to learn from failure is how to handle embarrassment. No one wants to fail, and no one wants others to see them fail, which is what happened to me my freshman year. Many of you know that I'm involved in theater. What you probably don't know is that I tried out for the fall play in my freshman year, and I failed. I was not cast. I thought maybe that was the end of that, but maybe acting wasn't my thing. But thanks to my good friend Jeremy Tam, who you just saw earlier, I tried out a few months later for the musical, and I got a part. But still there was a setback. On the opening night of the spring musical my freshman year, Bright Star, I was shaking, literally shaking with nerves. The theater was sold out, every seat filled. During the first act, one of the hardest parts of the show is that I had to do a quick change, meaning I had about 15 seconds to change from one outfit to another so I could get on stage for the next scene. I had practiced the change every day for the week, and it had never gone wrong. So that night, I ran off stage. I threw off my pants and my shirt, all according to plan, except my tie. It wouldn't budge. So, bear with me. Take a moment to picture this now. Little freshman Liam in the hallway outside the theater, standing in nothing but boxer briefs and a necktie. Of course, I was changing for my big song, so the entire cast was in that same hallway, waiting for me to get on stage. Mr. Beck came running, holding a giant pair of scissors. Together, we struggled to get the tie off. Trying to pull it off only made it tighter. I thought I was gonna die, and we both were afraid to cut the scissors. So I got my clothes on and shoved the tie that wouldn't budge under my shirt. But guess what? I survived. I was definitely embarrassed. The entire 40-student cast had seen my lucky Boston Celtics underwear. I'm sorry. And I had definitely failed. I was late for my scene. I could barely breathe, let alone sing. But the show went on. Which brings me to the second thing you need to learn from failure. A support system is your most important asset. Friends who encourage you to try again, who help you laugh off your mistakes and celebrate your wins. Directors who are willing to cut your tie off with a pair of scissors. Teachers who help you work harder or pick you up by blasting Pearl Jam songs in the hallway between classes. Coaches who let you take chances. A community that supports you in good times and bad. I've found that here, and my support system has given me the confidence to keep trying, even when I've wanted so badly to quit. I'm so grateful to all the people who have made my failures easier to take, and by doing so, made all my successes possible. Now, as we head off on our respective journeys, I hope that we all find success. But I also hope everyone remembers that failure does not have to be an end. It can be a beginning. Be brave, find support, and remember this, it's not about the fall, it's about the rise. So one last time, please, everyone in this room, raise your hand. Now, raise it even higher. Do you see how high you can reach? Maybe you have a failure to thank. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Liam. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Cheryl Champ, Superintendent of Schools, for her remarks, followed by the presentation of the Memorial Tablet Awards.
Thank you, Principal Llewellyn. Let's take another moment to once again recognize all of our extraordinary student speakers. Always intimidating to follow people like Liam and all of them, so I'm thrilled to just to congratulate them. Their words today were powerful, reflective, and filled with purpose, true testaments of the strength and spirit of the class of 2025. Each year I do find myself humbled and honestly a little intimidated following them at this podium, as they are the embodiment of our district's mission and vision, brought to life with energy, intellect, creativity, and hope. But as I do come, I offer my welcome. Welcome, friends, families, faculty, staff, members of the Board of Education, and most importantly, the remarkable graduates before us, Pelham Memorial High School's class of 2025. We can never clap enough on graduation day for them. It's an honor to stand here today and to offer a few reflections on the milestones, on this milestone moment. This year as a district, we framed our work around the theme that asked a simple question with profound answers. We are Pelham. What's your story? Let's take a moment to consider what makes a good story. And I'm looking at our English department members down here, and I know that you have likely explored this very question in your English classes. Compelling characters, mesmerizing settings, conflict and resolution, of course, emotional resonance, and a central theme that holds it all together. I recently heard a speaker describe a good story like this, one that begins where something goes off kilter, when a challenge or crisis erupts the norm. That's when the protagonist and antagonist, of course, appear. Then the plot takes shape, and eventually a resolution unfolds. Sometimes the ending is joyful, sometimes it's bittersweet, but it's always transformative in some way. Essayist and writer Flannery O'Connor once said, "There is something in us as storytellers and as listeners to stories that demands the redemptive act, that demands that what falls at least be offered the chance to be restored." And so today, as we mark the conclusion of your high school journey, let's reflect on the collective story that we have shared, the restoration that has occurred, and how the process has shaped you as a class. As a class, your story has been far from ordinary. You entered high school during the wake of a global pandemic. The world had literally tilted off its axis, okay, figuratively, but still. And with it, your schooling, routines, and relationships. Classrooms became Google Meets, friendships lived through screens, milestone traditions were delayed or had to be reimagined. The protagonists and antagonists of that chapter really were not always very clearly defined. We all found ourselves navigating uncertainty, trying to preserve what mattered most, that being connection, learning, and a sense of normalcy. Educators and families worked tirelessly to restore balance, and you, our students, showed courage, patience, and adaptability beyond your years. Over time, you built what was disrupted. You helped to revive traditions, reconnect our community, and reestablish the rhythms of high school life. The haunted house, the Battle of the Bands, are finally back to their pre-Pandoric glory. And not every senior has bragging rights of not just one, but 2 Olympic championships. And you also led the way in creating new paths with achievement, with 77 of you receiving the Seal of Civic Readiness this year. In many ways, Pelham Memorial High School feels more whole because of the leadership, resilience, and spirit of this senior class. Of course, beyond our shared story, each of you has a personal narrative filled with moments of challenge and triumph, doubt and determination. Perhaps you faced academic pressures, personal loss, self-discovery, or unexpected change, but you also found strength within yourselves and from those who supported you, friends, families, teachers, coaches, and mentors. Some of your challenges and plot twists have already reached resolution, while others are still unfolding. But in each story, there's growth. And with that growth comes the opportunity to carry forward lessons that will guide you for years to come. So as you close the chapter on high school and begin to write the next one, some stories will continue seamlessly, while others will take new and surprising turns. Whatever comes next, I encourage you to hold close the values and experiences that shaped you here: perseverance, kindness, curiosity, and community. These are the threads that will weave through all of your future chapters. They are the heart of your personal story, and they are part of Pelham's collective story too. I hope you continue to tell stories of your time in Pelham, stories of friendship and laughter, of obstacles overcome, of teachers who believed in you, and moments that made you feel seen and valued. Your individual voices make this class extraordinary. Your collective voice as well. Today, together, your story is powerful and a lasting part of who we are, because we are Pelham, and you, class of 2025, have helped to define what that means. Congratulations, Pelicans. It's time to spread your wings and soar. Thank you. Very good. now I have one of the greatest honors. This has been a tradition at Pelham Memorial High School for 100 years. The Memorial Tablet Award, established in 1925, is the most prestigious honor given to 2 students in the senior class. It's voted on by the Pelham Memorial High School faculty, and these students are recognized as having attained the highest mental, moral, physical, and academic standards during their high school years. Our first student is equally dominant in academics as she is in her chosen sport. She's been described as a student who has embraced every opportunity to learn and grow here at Pelham Memorial High School. She is an outstanding student of Italian, having been honored by the Westchester Coalition of Italian American Organizations, and she is president of the Mathematics Honor Society. As a science research student, she has shadowed a cardiovascular surgeon and even watched multiple surgeries from inside the operating room. As an athlete, she has competed in the New York State Swimming and Diving Championships. She's a captain of the varsity swim team and won the Con Ed Scholar Athlete Award this fall. She also holds the school record in the 100-meter butterfly. She served as captain of her Swim Across America team, helping to raise over $27,000 for cancer research and treatment. She is also a true champion for those who are treated unfairly, always ready to lend her voice to support her peers. It is my true honor to announce Madeline Horner as the recipient of the Memorial Tablet Award. And our second honoree is an outstanding scholar and athlete as well as someone who is deeply committed to making a positive impact on the world around him. He is a school senator, a journalist for the Pell-Mell, and a trumpet player in the band. He has organized a number of community events for Pelham Together, the Breast Cancer Awareness Club, and our Pelham community. As president of the Sports with Purpose Club, he has led initiatives that foster inclusivity and support for underprivileged children. He is captain of 3 teams, varsity basketball, cross country, and track and field, and this year was the recipient of the William J. Tom Court of Excellence Award. It is my true honor to announce George Negrin as the recipient of the Memorial Tablet Award.
Thank you, Dr. Champ. I would now like to introduce Class of 2025 class advisors, Ms. Devin Fallon and Mr. Andrew Van Bakov, who will be reading the names of the students for our presentation of diplomas. Just a reminder, in our Pelham tradition, we will clap once after each student's name so that all the names can be heard. So, student name, well done. In addition, we will pause at 2 points to invite special guests up to present diplomas. So we'll begin with Ms. Fallon.
Ready? Oh, am I waiting?
Joseph Martucci, Brewer Anderson, Shannon Winston, Jake Fellner, Renee I. Oh, sorry. First row stand, please. Renee I. Khaled Albahar. Gabriel Al-Falahi. Sarah Ali. Santiago Amado Cardenas. Libby Amirati. Kristen Anderson. Austin Ansorgi. Emily Atman. Elias Asher. Rediat Asefa. Skylar Austin. Graham Bardoff. William Barrett. Emma Beer. Should I slow down? Okay. Benjamin Blake. Kaylee Black. Caitlin Boyce. Anderson Brady. Henry Brandler. Judith Brandler. Sonia Brown. Connor Bryan. Charlotte Buer. Sabine Bouchon. Claire Cahill. Marin Kiola. First row, please be seated. Second row, please stand. Luis Joshua Casanas. Victoria Salanti Smith. Lisette Charlton. Chloe Choulet. Nicolo Clementi. Justin Cohen. Elizabeth Condi. Dennis Condon. Catherine Connolly. Edwin Kreutz. Addison Cross. Isabella Cross. Kiara Cruz Bastardo. Meredith Cullen. Lucas D'Angelo. Madeline Daniker. Tyler Davis. Noah D. Domenico. His diploma will be awarded to him by his mother, former Pelham Board of Education President Jessica D. Domenico. Brandon DeRogatis. Devin Dewar. Ella DiNatale. Owen Duffy. William Dunhill. Plum Durham. Samantha Elliott. Kate Feldman. Aaron Felix. Julia Findikian. Second row, please be seated. Third row, please stand. Kira Findikian. Leander Fry. Kenneth Gambone. Leonardo Garcia. His diploma will be awarded to him by his mother, Pelham Board of Education trustee Anne Marie Garcia. Ethan Gachalian. Sarah George. Elena Getz. Laura Jin. Liam Ginsberg. Michael Jalaj. Paula Joka. Joaquim Gomez Silva. Paloma Gonzalez. Renee Gonzalez. Luca Goodyear. Bajorn Gray. Maximus Greco. Sophia Greco. Taylor Green. Justin Guzman. Scarlett Hanlon. Maxwell Hansen. Alexandra Herzog. JJ Hetzer. Matthew Hirsch. Madeline Horner. Third row, please be seated. Fourth row, please stand. Juliana Hostomsky. Alessandra Hughes. Sophia Hines. Emmanuel Idowu. India Irving. Sade Jacobs. Walter Jacklich. Dari Jeffries. Charles Johnson. Matthew Johnson. Sandy Joya Esperanza. Alexander Kaler. Julian Kalehoff. Uma Kancharla. Catherine Kaplow. Dusha Karaki. Matthew Kaiser. Peyton Kerr. Grace Kiami. Fletcher Kiesling. Christian King Bacote. William Knickerbocker. Catherine Kuntz. Muskan Kumar. Aaron Custin Sally. Isabel Custin Sally. Claire Landy. Fourth row, please be seated.
First row, please stand. Robert Langerfeld. Oliver Lavallee. Serafina Lavallee. Ryan Lee. Aurora Lightshine. Clark Logan. Liam Looney. Jake Lubin. Lerta Lutzjanai. Elon Luciano. Faye Luno. Nicholas Madeira. Timothy Magambo. Nora McGuire. Noah Marr. Eleanor Mayberger. Venice Mancuso. Victoria Marcelino. Charlotte Marion. Lark Martin. Benjamin Martucci. April Matias. Lorenzo Matiz. Gregory McFarland. John McGrory. Paul McLaughlin. Elena McMahon. First row, please be seated. Second row, please stand. Frederick Medina. Maxwell Middleton. Christopher Miklich. Miles Milling. Zara Mansour. Andrew Morales. Erin Moskowitz. Jamie Moskowitz. Antonino Mota. Jonathan Mullen. Naomi Munoz Irigoyen. Chloe Murray. Manu Nayak. Jake Namba. Waverly Nanda. Lucas Navarro. Martin Nadoka. Sophia Nadu. Dea Negri. George Negrin. Cecilia Ojo. Christopher O'Mara. Philip Orlando. John Otter. Lucette Al. Madeline Pacella. Abigail Parker. Second row, please be seated. Third row, please stand. Joshua Para. Dylan Patterson. Sydney Paulos. Malachi Perlman. Nicholas Pietranudo. Vanessa Polania. Gianluca Polenzani. Christian Princess. Matthew Prisco. Zoe Purcell. Lila Resnick. Georgiana Jean Reynolds. Lucas Resende Metellus. Juliana Riviello. Axel Robinson. Abigail Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez. Eva Marie Romano. James Romano. Nathaniel Saki. Francisco Santana. Benjamin Sasson. Ashok Sicharan. Dakota Shanley. Madison Shapiro. Zachariah Sharhan. Aiden Sinha. Third row, please be seated. Fourth row, please stand. Jonah Snyder. Lucy Soto. Zachary Susena. Mason Schnipp. Jeremy Tam. Kenneth Terrero. Nimna Tenuarage. Hudson Torres. Maxim Tavares. Jahani Valverde. Devrin Vargas. Cara Rose Vitali. Lila Walsh. Cameron Wanuga. Hannah Way. Mackenzie Whalen. Ava Wibberly. Stella Winter. Andrew Woodward. Viviana Wright. Petra Wolfson. Emily Shu. Martha Yachas. Chloe Inguanzo. Charlotte Young. Henry Ewan. Ryan Zapata.
Fourth row, you can be seated. All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for. By the authority granted me by the State of New York Board of Regents and by the Pelham Board of Education and through the Pelham Union Free School District, I hereby officially proclaim the preceding members of the class of 2025 to be now graduated. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my faculty who've been here in their heavy robes all day. Thank you. This concludes our commencement ceremony. Please remain in your seats until all graduates have exited the tent. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.